I believe you'll agree we're making great progress. We've gone from being fully numerate to where we're starting to perform mathematical operations upon these personally meaningful numbers and their representations. In particular, we can do meaningful comparison, and we can ask the question, which is larger, and expect the students to understand what that means. We can also ask by how much, which gives us the operation of subtraction. And again, we have the reasonable expectation the students will understand and be able to interpret their answers to that question. We're going to generate our next operation by asking yet another question, and this is, how many in all? I'll tell you right now, this is my favorite to develop, thanks to a young person who, when asked how they got the answer, said, well, Doc, I just smushed them together.
This video is going to take our earlier explorations in terms of operation and ask a different question. The question in this case is how many in all? And so let's go back and go through our process. We can represent one number, we can represent another number, and we can do it, dang it. Well, there's our do it, dang it line. And so let's do our number representation first. Here, we'll represent our 5. And again, always subtizing and chunking, because that consistency in representation makes it to where these symbols and the words used to describe those symbols have much more power for the student. Now, when we ask what it is we're going to do, remember there's our do it, dang it. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to do this action. And this is the action of smush them together. I wish I could take credit for this, but I can't. There was a young person in a first grade class I was working with many, many years ago, and he said, you know, Doc, I really like addition a lot. And I said, how come? And he says, the answer is so easy, all you got to do is just smush them together. And so that's our action. Now, this is a good point for us to recognize that there's another step following action, and that's organization of that action. That didn't really show up earlier, but it shows up with a great deal of importance here. After we smush them together, we have to organize what we've done. Remember, in our learning model, we have action, then we have organization, and then we build a record of that action. And of course, the record of that action is 8. How do we know? Because we have visual recognition and numerical fluency, and we can look at what we get after we organize it, and we can see that we have 2 groups of 3, 1 group of 2, or even better than that, we visually recognize it as being 8. So we represent again, we do it, dang it. We do the smush them together, which is called addition, and that's our result. And I hope you're seeing the consistent result here, in that what we get is we get something that could be sent home, because our students will read this, and they'll read it with represent 5, represent 3, do it, smush them together. After we organize it, what do we get? And they'll have a lot more behind this from a meaning perspective, again, developing both that concept and procedural aspect of mathematics that's so incredibly important.